Batman is dead. That's how we open on DC number 3. Batman is dead. Alfred is standing there lamenting over his boys, Tim Drake and Dick Grayson, and now Bruce Wayne, Batman. And that is something that Tom Taylor actually does really well, is the relationship between Alfred and Batman. He did it over in Injustice as well. But Alfred is more than just a butler. He's not Batman's butler. He raised Bruce Wayne. That is his son. In last issue, as he shot him, he's like, "I'm sorry, son." And now he's like standing there over these other boys that he's raised, and he's just like, "Oh, my boys. I'm so sorry that I couldn't save you." So yeah, I hope you have your sad hats on, because that's kind of where this issue goes. That wasn't a tear up my eye, was it, G? As I said, the issue opens with Alfred standing over his dead boys, and then he's like, "Nah," and he flies off. He gets in the Batwing, and he flies off, and he takes out some anger. He shoots a bunch of rockets at a bunch of these zombies, and he's like, just taking out some anger. After that, we see Harley Quinn running out of the place, and the Joker's chasing her down, and she sees, she kind of looks around, and I think maybe she pieces together the zombie stuff. This other guy goes down to a bunch of zombies, drops a shotgun, she picks it up, and just boom, and blasts the Joker right through the gut, Nope, he was already up there. And she's like, "Oh my god, that was so cathartic!" And I could think it would be very cathartic to shoot an X with a shotgun if they were a zombie, of course. As she walks away, she goes down the alley and comes across 4 new zombies that we haven't seen yet. Catwoman, the Huntress, Batgirl, and Batwoman, all zombies. And Harley's like, "All right, zombie birds of prey. I guess we're bird hunting then." And this one's debatable. I've seen other people talk about this, and they say that you can actually see some tears in her eyes, so she's putting on this joke, but she's still crying. I kind of look at the art, and I see that maybe that's just a bit of light and shading or whatever. Here's a picture of it. I get you guys decide. I think it is more poetic that she is sad, but at the same time, I don't know if that's what was intended here. Speaking of people who are sad, Damian is sad. His dad is dead, Batman. And he's sitting there, and John comes to comfort him, and he's like, "I want to be alone." And John's like, "I'm just going to sit here and not talk." He's showing the good friendship between Damian and John. Clark is like, "Okay, I'm going to go check on my parents, but first, I got to clear out this building." So he goes down, he takes everybody out of the building, and he puts them outside. One of them is Perry White. It's not like a super sad moment or anything. There's just a lot. There's a monologue going over this, talking about, "Oh, no, he's clearing out this building. These were his former colleagues. Some of these are his friends." Superman still doesn't quite see them as dead. He's kind of holding out hope. He's like, there could be a way to save them. He hasn't really said that yet. They do get into it more. But Superman hasn't killed any of these zombies yet. He's harmlessly taking them on the street, takes the globe off the top of the Daily Planet, and he bars the door with it down in the street and says, "I gotta go take care of people. I gotta go find my mom and dad." And then we see the ocean. Mara is there with Garth, former Aqualad, now current Tempest. And they're looking, and they're like, "Oh, it's getting awfully dark, and it's not nighttime yet." And they look closer, and they're like, "That's not the sun setting. That is blood filling the water above us." And Aquaman is there, and there's sharks everywhere, and there's more zombies. And Aquaman's tearing through a bunch of Atlantean soldiers, and he's like, "Hey, undead king of the sea here. What are you going to do about it?" What Tempest does about it is nothing, and he gets bit and, does the thing, and now he's dead. But then Mara uses her water-bending powers, and she shoots all the blood away. She's like, "Nah, you're not infecting me," and she swims off. Meanwhile, back to Superman. He's there trying to get to Smallville, but he keeps seeing people in need, and he keeps going and saving them because he's Superman. That's what he does. And one of these, we see Clayface is a big, scary monster, and he's pulling on this helicopter. So Clayface, done. And in that helicopter is Black Lightning and his girls. Superman stops and saves them. He's like, "I'll deal with Black Lightning. You get going." And they're like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Go to the Daily Bugle. We got some plans." And then we see Superman finally makes it to his old farm, and Martha Kent is out there holding a shovel, and Superman's like, "Ma." She's like, "Yeah, no, Jonathan attacked me, and I hit him with a shovel, and he went down, and I locked him in the barn." And Superman's like, "Okay, no, just stay out here, I'll deal with it." And he goes in, and his dad is in the barn, in the cellar, and he opens the door, and then he comes out, and he's been infected, so Jonathan Kent is dead. And Superman is quite sad. Obviously, his dad's turned into a zombie, but the guy, he's got the anti-life, so he's in there, and he's thrashing at Superman, and Superman's the Man of Steel. Nothing hurts him. He just kind of lets it happen. He's just like, "Oh," and he slowly takes his dad's hands, and he's just like, "Okay," and he puts him back in the cellar. He closes the door, and he heat visions it shut. He still didn't kill him or whatever, and he walks out of the barn, and Ma Kent is like, "Okay, well, what about Jonathan?" And Superman's just like, "No, we have to go. Dad's not here anymore. He isn't here." He picks Ma up in his arms, and they fly off. They're going back to the Daily Bugle. And that's the issue. Not as action-packed as other issues. This one was kind of a downer, and that's, again, showing what this series can be. In the main series, DC, this is definitely, the slowest issue, I think. But there's a lot going on in other issues. This one's kind of just like, Clayface is dead. here's Black Lightning. Like, everybody's realizing what is happening. They're letting it sink in. Just that people are dead. Things are different. The world will never be the same. And loved ones are gone. So happy Sunday, everybody. Sorry for this downer. Tomorrow's going to be more exciting. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Otherwise, just be sure to check out the video tomorrow. Bye.